Cowboy football travels to Ames looking for a bounce-back win over the Iowa State Cyclones. Cowgirl soccer looks to extend its home winning streak, and OSU cross country prepares to welcome over 6,000 runners to the Cowboy Jamboree. All this and more coming up on the Poke Report.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Poke Report. I'm Griff McClellan.
And I'm Toni Wetmore.
Each week we break down all things you need to know about OSU sports. Today we commence the first episode of the semester as well as the 10th season of the show. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Cowboy fans are unhappy with the result of last weekend's game against South Alabama. Our very own Max Moody has the recap.
The Cowboys welcomed the Jaguars of South Alabama on Saturday to complete their non-conference schedule and remain undefeated on the year. Freshly off a 27-15 win over Arizona State in Tempe just last week, Boone Pickens Stadium was sold out and energized entering this game. The Jaguars put 10 points up quickly with this 39-yard pass over the middle, exposing the Cowboys' defense. South Alabama kept up the ambush by scoring 16 points in the first half and keeping the Cowboys out of the end zone.
I feel bad for our fans, the way that we coached and played, and I apologize to them. Great crowd, great atmosphere, and we didn't do a very good job of coaching, and certainly didn't do a very good job of executing.
Standout Jaguar running back LaDamian Webb rushed for over 150 yards and scored 2 TDs. The Cowboys' defense would go on to give up 33 points. This was the first non-conference loss since 2016.
They had a good plan. Coach did a great job. Coach Applewhite did a great job of knowing what he wanted to do to attack us. Got us in some favorable situations for him. Got some things to get Kendall out of the box, which is not ideal for what we want in this defense. They had a really good plan of attack.
South Alabama would go on to win 33-7, with the only score from the Cowboys being Jade Nixon's 2-yard run in the fourth quarter. Cowboy fans were stunned and upset with this loss, many taking to social media to express their thoughts. The Cowboys will face Big 12 foe Iowa State in Ames on Saturday at 2:30. For the Poke Report, I'm Max Moody.
Thanks, Max. Hopefully the Cowboys can rebound following that embarrassing loss.
And the Cowboys aren't the only team to be playing right now. Cowboy and Cowgirl tennis are starting their seasons this weekend as well. The Cowboys are staying in Stillwater for their first tournament, the Big 12 SEC Challenge. The team recently welcomed new assistant coach Max Collar and freshman Derek Pham. Before coming to Stillwater, Collar coached at a handful of schools, including the universities of Florida, California Santa Barbara, and Oklahoma University. The Australian freshman Pham entered the ATP Top 1000 rankings earlier this year and made his Grand Slam debut in the 2023 Australian Open qualifying round. Cowgirl tennis will be starting their season this weekend in San Francisco and San Diego. We wish them luck.
Meanwhile, Cowgirl soccer is excelling on the pitch right now. I had a chance to catch up with the team. The OSU Cowgirls extended their home record to 5-0 on Sunday, defeating the Abilene Christian Wildcats 2-0. OSU's offense clicked early, as Logan Heisler dribbled one past the goalkeeper in the 10th minute, scoring her 5th goal of the season. This marked her 2nd goal in as many games. Logan explains what traveled through her mind in the moment.
I closed my eyes. I heard keeper really loud, and I just shut my eyes and I stuck my foot out. I had one similar in the spring and did the exact same thing, closed my eyes. I was hoping to get around her and then squeaked by the front post.
The Cowgirls dominated on both sides of the ball all afternoon, out-shooting the Wildcats 34-4. Heisler set the tone early, but the Cowgirls didn't score again until the 60th minute when Loudon Wilson added some insurance. This was her 3rd goal of the season and 1st since August 27th. Wilson is proud of her team's execution displayed.
I think we did really well taking our players on and exposing them like in the wides, and we crossed it in a lot, and I think in the first half we didn't show that as much, and I think when we finally did show that, I think it posed well for us because we won.
Head coach Colin Carmichael is proud of his team's first half performance this season. He says his team's identity is coming together, entering conference play.
Our identity's become a little bit of, we got to defend hard, we got to compete hard, we got to be comfortable without the ball. And then when we win it, let's use our athleticism to really hurt teams. And I think when we do that, we're a pretty good team.
With the win, the Cowgirls improved their overall record to 8-2 at the midpoint of the season. This game marked the beginning of a 4-game homestand and the end of non-conference play. The Cowgirls hope to carry momentum throughout their Big 12 campaign going forward. For the Poke Report, I'm Griff McClellan. The Cowgirls are now 9-2 following last night's 1-0 victory over Kansas. Logan Heisler set the tone early, scoring in the second minute of the game, recording her 6th goal of the season. OSU looks to extend its winning streak this Sunday versus Kansas State. We'll take a quick break, but don't go anywhere, folks. The Poke Report will return right after this.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars, like fresh packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8. Pizza.
Introducing Lincoln Black Label at Diffie Ford Lincoln. Designed to impress those with impeccable taste, Lincoln Black Label features a collection of interior themes and a host of exclusive membership privileges, inspired by attention to detail and a love of automobiles. With Lincoln Black Label, you'll enjoy an extended premium maintenance plan that covers wear items or even remote vehicle delivery. Lincoln Black Label isn't about luxury ownership, it's about membership. Lincoln Black Label, exclusively at Diffie.
Welcome back to the Poke Report. Coming up, we'll have a story about an equestrian rider who is making an impact outside of the arena. But first, OSU Golf has implemented a new training program, and Alyssa Pena has the story.
Oklahoma State has recently added a first-of-its-kind research center that will translate findings to all levels of golf. OSU Griff is golf research innovation and performance center that conducts in-depth research with Oklahoma State University's elite college golfers.
Well, it actually started years ago. Coach Bratton and I had a conversation. If I get this right, it was about a piece of equipment and potentially doing some stuff. And at that time, we just weren't quite ready, quite set up for it. So time had passed, and we were in a better position within the college and our department, and equipment-wise and faculty-wise and that kind of thing. And so I contacted him again just through text and said, are you interested in doing, a research project or just some research?
OSU Grip is a collaboration between the School of Kinesiology, Applied Health and Recreation, and the Cowboy and Cowgirl golf programs to research and improve athlete performance.
That's the thing. I think that's a trend for the future athlete, no matter the sports science or the strength coach. So you need to incorporate all of those together, right? We are not old school anymore. We have a whole lot of new stuff right here. So that's what we're trying to do.
With GRIT being data-driven through the collection of key performance variables related to golf, its hope is to help make a difference and improve golfers at Oklahoma State.
As well as, now we're getting into year 3, we can look back. We have all the data and dashboards and kept that we can look back at that. Last year in March when we were doing this test, you were here, and now you're here. This is great, right? Or even look at data when a particular player might be playing really well, and kind of like, wow, what's happening there with this person? So the things out there to do are, in my mind, there's a lot to do, right?
This elite high performance shows the excellence OSU golf teams strive for. Reporting for the Poke Report, I'm Alyssa Pena.
Thanks, Alyssa. I'm excited to see how the team uses this new program.
The Cowgirls golf team is training and preparing for its second tournament this season. They placed 6th in their tournament earlier this month and still beat out OU, who finished 8th. Madison Hinson Tolshard finished top 10 in the tournament with a 4 under par. That makes her 14th top 10 finish in her career. The team is currently focusing on their next tournament, the Schooner Fall Classic Tournament. This tournament is going to have 15 teams participating, including Baylor, Texas, and Oklahoma. It will take place in Norman at the Belmar Golf Club Saturday through Monday. The tournament is a 54-hole event for the team. The Cowgirl golf team has 3 freshmen, Ellie Bushnell, Sammy Miller, and Marta Shulshenko. We wish our Cowgirl golf team great luck this weekend and the season.
We also wish luck to our Cowgirl and Cowboy cross-country teams as they host the Cowboy Jamboree this weekend. OSU will host one of the nation's largest meets of the year at the Griner Family OSU cross-country course. The Jamboree has 6 top 25 teams between the men's and women's races, including the Cowboys, who are ranked 6th in the nation. Their team includes 4 All-Americans, Isai Rodriguez, Alex Mayer, Ryan Smeaton, and Victor Shizama. They finished 3rd as a team at the NCAA Championships last season. Mayer and Shizama finished 1st and 3rd at the Jamboree last season. The Cowgirls are ranked 23rd in the country. They have 7 returners from last year's team. The Cowgirls are led by national runner-up Taylor Rowe. Rowe finished 2nd at the Jamboree last season, and both teams are coming off of top 3 finishes at the Cowboy Preview on September 1st. The men's 8K will start at 8:30 and the women's race will start at 9:15. Now, you ran cross-country in high school, correct?
I did. I ran for 3 years, but I wish I was still in shape today.
Yeah, I agree with that.
One equestrian rider has combined 2 of her unique passions. Kenna Mock has more.
From the time Dahlia was just a teenage girl in Poland, she knew the kind of difference she wanted to make in the equestrian community. Horse riding was not her only passion. She also loved designing clothes. It is not often that someone is able to bring together their talents and allow them to mix, but that is exactly what Dahlia has done.
In the equestrian industry, there were not many options for shirts that were feminine and sporty, comfortable, so I decided to make one for my own. And then that's how it started. Like, all my friends loved it. They were asking, where did you buy it? And I was like, oh, I made it. Yeah, so that's how it started.
Just like any other brand, the Designed by Dahlia logo represents more than just the brand. In her case, it represents herself.
This flower, that's the logo, and that's a Dahlia flower. So it's just like a graphic design of my name, so yeah.
Dahlia's friends, family, and customers are not the only ones who are impressed by her brand. She has also impressed her coaches right here at OSU. So much so that she is now going to sponsor the team and create a shirt of her own that the team gets to wear.
It's really unique. I'm incredibly proud of her. She is one of our most creative teammates, and it shows in her design and her clothing, and she's really, really well known in our industry. So it's awesome to be able to collaborate with her and have a custom piece for the team.
Getting to design a shirt for the team was not only something that her coaches and teammates appreciated greatly, but it was also something that she was more than willing to do.
I wanted to support, yeah, and OSU is always going to be in my heart, so.
In the future for her brand, Dahlia says that she wants to expand her sales in the U.S. and in Australia. And as we have seen, she is well on her way. For the Poke Report, I'm Kenna Mock.
Thanks, Kenna. A very compelling topic.
And speaking of sports changing over time, Drew Patterson has more on the changing landscape of college football.
Throughout the years, athletic recruiting has evolved and grown from almost nothing, giving coaches and players much easier access. But what was life like before?
A bigger staff. Back in the day, there was no analysts. You just had a director of recruiting, assistant director of recruiting.
Now, Oklahoma State has a director of recruiting, a manager of on-campus recruiting, and 6 to 7 recruiting analysts.
Coaches that could actually go out, and the head coach that could actually go out and recruit and make phone calls, those type of things. And now I think about every coach has a recruiting analyst.
Opposed to having little staff in recent years, the recruiting department is starting to skyrocket for Oklahoma State.
The major change we see today with college football is the transfer portal. Because of this, players are coming and going out of the nation, and it can be really hard to adjust. Players are easily influenced by this, and it can be really hard on programs, especially football.
And then you're having to go in at the last minute and evaluate who you're going to be recruiting and who you would offer, whether it's out of the portal or whether it's to go after another freshman or a JUCO kid.
With the portal being vast, it can be tough for coaches having to make last-minute decisions on who to try and pick up. Although things have grown for the Cowboys, things are even more complex than before due to the transfer portal and NIL deals.
Back in the day, you could transfer, but there was no transfer portal or anything like that. You might have to sit out. You could possibly get a waiver, but now there's thousands of kids on the transfer portal.
With the Poke Report, I'm Drew Patterson.
Thanks, Drew. And right after this, we'll talk some Big 12 football. We'll be right back.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars. Like fresh packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large deep dish for just $8.
Pizza. Introducing Lincoln Black Label at Diffie Ford Lincoln. Designed to impress those with impeccable taste, Lincoln Black Label features a collection of interior themes and a host of exclusive membership privileges inspired by attention to detail and a love of automobiles. With Lincoln Black Label, you'll enjoy an extended premium maintenance plan that covers wear items or even remote vehicle delivery. Lincoln Black Label isn't about luxury ownership, it's about membership. Lincoln Black Label, exclusively at Diffie.
Welcome back, folks, to the Poke Report. Well, we're on the road in Ames this weekend. It's only fitting we discuss the history regarding the matchup between OSU and ISU. Chase Horsley has more.
Oklahoma State and Iowa State meet once again at Jack Trice Stadium. Cowboys have heartbreaks and wins here in Ames. It all started back in 2011 when the Cowboys missed a field goal that would potentially put them in the national championship. Instead, it was an upset win for the Cyclones.
Ragged team in the country and knocking them out of the national championship picture. Certainly a really tough loss for Oklahoma State, but from an Iowa State side, it was a great win.
4 years later, in 2015, the number 8 Cowboys were down to the unranked Cyclones by 17 in the first half. OSU was on upset alert all the way until the fourth quarter, where the Cowboys did not give up as they came back to win 35-31. This was not the only time the Cowboys came back in the fourth, as the Cowboys' last 6 wins against the Cyclones have been come from behind victories.
Boys, one of their strategies was to post up their big receivers and let him go get the ball. Well, Marcel was the postman. He had a huge game, including a big touchdown catch, about 4 minutes to play.
The last time the Cyclones and the Cowboys met up was here at Boone Pickens Stadium when it was a win for the Cowboys, 20-14.
The Cowboys have had much success here in Ames, winning 4 of the last 5 games. Some may say it's just another home away from home. For the Poke Report, I'm Chase Horsley.
Thanks, Chase. We're now pleased to welcome our Big 12 expert, Chase. What can you tell us about the Big 12?
Guys, if you didn't know, the Big 12 just officially started today. So TCU is the only team that's sitting up at the top as they defeated Houston, the new Big 12 incomer, last week. But hey, have you guys ever wondered the Sooners? I mean, they finished 5-6 last season. They actually had a dominant win, 66-14 over the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes on that one. So Dylan Gabriel, is he the guy for the Sooners? I mean, he's been there for 2 years. I mean, he came back from UCF, who UCF is now a new Big 12 as well too. So there's a lot of Big 12 news, but the big game that I want to hit on, did you guys see that Kansas State-Missouri game?
Man, 61-yard field goal. I was not expecting him to make that.
No, absolutely. And the way it all happened with like the penalties, the delay of game, everything all in that motion. And then he just nails it just like it was baking a cake or something. I mean, absolutely insane. But again, Big 12, TCU sitting up at the top, Houston down at the bottom, and we'll wait to see how everything stands out. I'll have more standing information coming back next week.
We're excited to be in conference play. And speaking of the Big 12, we have a Big 12 student joining us from Iowa State, Nick Harmon.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
Doing well. Awesome, guys. So let's go ahead and start. The first game we want to talk about, we already talked a little bit about it, the Sooners. Sooners are going to be taking on Cincinnati, and this is going to be a big matchup. Nick, who do you have winning this one?
Easy, Oklahoma. Love what they're doing this year. Get me Oklahoma.
I'll follow suit. I'm picking the Sooners as well.
Unfortunately, I'm also saying OU.
And looks like we have a 4 panel of yeses because I'm going with the Sooners as well too in that matchup. Should be a good game, but we will see. The next game we're going to jump into UCF Kansas State. Talked a little bit about Kansas State and Will Howard. Nick?
I'm going Kansas State. I believe last week Missouri is going to be an actual team, so I think Kansas State will actually get the win this week.
I agree. I think Kansas State rebounds with a win over UCF.
I disagree. I think UCF will come out on top. Kansas State didn't look like they used to, and I think UCF will be able to match that.
See, I think we're running the doubles here because I'm with Tony on this one. I've got UCF beating Kansas State this week. Will Howard, he's not A.J. Martinez, so it's going to be different. All right, next game. Oregon and Colorado, one Big 12 member coming into this. Nick?
I'm a big believer in Coach Prime. Everything he's doing, I am a full believer in. Coach Prime with the win, Colorado.
Colorado may be huge underdogs. I don't think it's going to phase them. They come into Eugene and beat them. I'm riding with Primetime and Colorado taking the win.
I'm also in agreement. I'm a big Coach Prime fan, and I mean, if you hear those locker room speeches, I'm inspired to win for them, so I'm going to take Colorado.
So I'm taking Colorado as well too. Sador Sanders, absolutely an amazing quarterback, but we want to feel for Travis Hunter as well too, as prayers for him, and hopefully he's able to get back on his feet. All right, next game, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Nick.
Man, I love the Fighting Irish. I really do. And you know what? Touchdown Jesus will be in full effect this weekend. Give me Fighting Irish with the win.
This may be the toughest one yet, but I got to go with Ohio State on the road.
I'm also taking Ohio State on the road.
All right, so I'm agreeing with Nick. I don't think McCord is going to have enough this time. Sam Hartman has played really well with Notre Dame, and I'm going as Notre Dame Irish win and beat Ohio State. Now a game that we're here at Ames, Iowa for, a game that both teams are trying to figure things out. Nick, your thoughts?
Let me talk to you. Now, the thing I love about Iowa State is its defense is being pretty good. Let's look at first week, 9 points UNI. Second week, 20 points. Iowa can't get that 25-point shot out, Brian Ferentz. The next week, bad game, still good defense. Who am I going to pick? Who's the winner this week? Give me ISU. 10-17.
Wow. All right. I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to pick the OSU Cowboys, of course. I don't think it's going to be a very pretty game. Weather could play a role. Both teams are still trying to figure themselves out. I can see a low-scoring affair. I'm going with 13-9 Cowboys.
I'm going a little bit of a higher score, 20-13 Cowboys. I'm looking for a good game from Ollie Gordon and Colin Oliver.
All right, so I'm going to go probably with just this history into making. Now, 2 years back, they went 24-21, 2 years in a row. Well, I'm going to start that trend back. I've got 24-21. Cowboys are going to win, and it's going to be by an Alex Hale walk-off field goal.
All right.
No way.
Well, thank you for joining us this week on the Poke Report. I'm Toni Wetmore.
And I'm Griff McClellan. Thank you as always for tuning in. We'll see you next week.